Hey everybody, it's Kyle from Tavern TCG. That's right, another competitive mindset. We're back. We've taken a break, but that's because I was running out of competitive players. And luckily, Ryan Mattis has stepped up to the plate. Ryan got third at the Pasadena AGP that was the other weekend. He also got top 8 at the Anaheim ARG. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good,
How
good.
are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. So, awesome. Thanks for hopping on here with us. I want to talk to you a little bit about the event, right? The Pasadena AGP. Also about your deck. You went undefeated in Swiss, which is insane.
Yeah, I was in the zone that day.
Yeah, I think I know. I saw you play. I thought you played incredibly well. And the thing is, I mean, a lot of people know who played. This event was before the errata on Reflect, and to go undefeated in Swiss is like insane. It's it's like actually really hard to do, and you didn't do it with just like the regular deck everyone else was playing it. You were playing a cool deck, which was I don't know what did you call it?
Um, Necromancy incarnate. I don't really know what I called it. I just gave it some funny deck name on the sheet.
Right, but it was basically like an incarnate deck, except you were running Necromancy.
Yeah, and I was playing more aggressive cards,
like Lancelot.
like Lancelot and Gherta and Cthugha.
Yeah, and you can find the list. They're on our website. I'll put it in the description as well, but I might forget to do that. So if you want to remind me in the comments, be nice about it, and I'll do it. I'm sick of hate messages in the comments. Leave me a compliment, and then I'll put the list in the description. How about that? Yeah, so sweet. So talk to me a little bit about how did the idea come as far as running the aggressive cards in the Cthulhu engine together, or the Incarnate engine, you should say.
Okay, so I first noticed some decks from Italy, and I saw there's a couple of decks with the Incarnate engine, and they're actually playing Cheshire Cats and Adam Brawleys also, in addition to Rasputin, Rukh Egg, Nyarletotep, Hastur.
Right.
And I really liked that engine, and I was trying a red, blue, black deck that was similar to that, and I wanted to. So one of the ideas I wanted to add to the deck was a lot of people are playing, or they're still in the Barrier of Shadows and Hera hype train.
Right.
And a lot of the decks that were playing the engine, the Incarnate engine, were playing Ruler's Memoria and a bunch of Regalia. And I thought, well, why not just not play? If I don't play as many Regalia, then they're going to have a lot of dead cards in their hand in the early game. So that should slow them down a little bit, since they're going to have a lot worse cards than me. And I'll still have the barriers against them. And if they're going to have a small disadvantage in the early game, I should pressure them with cards like Lancelot, Gherta, Cthugha.
Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it went. I kind of cut Regalia, played cards like Lancelot and Gherta. And then we were testing a little bit with that deck, and it was performing really well. But one of my friends was playing the Necromancy deck, and I noticed how strong the Necromancy was with Lancelot and Cthugha and stuff. It just makes your Lancelot so much better than theirs.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, maybe if I can incorporate Guinevere and Necromancy into this deck, it could be really good. And that's exactly what I did. And we came up with a list, and it seemed really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I really like the Necromancy concepts already. One of the problems that deck ran into, that wasn't running all the Incarnate stuff. It was mostly just straight aggro, except Necromancy and Lancelot. One of the problems it ran into was it really needed to get Necromancy into the grave very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel your deck came in had the same issue, or did you find a way to solve that?
Never really. I only played 3 because I didn't feel like it was a super important card. You could still easily win because you can get early tempo and card advantage with Nyarletoteps and Hastur with the Incarnate engine.
Right.
And so it's not something you have to have. it's something that's really good to have if you're in like Lancelot matchups.
Right.
So your Lancelots and Ghertas are better than their Lancelot. So yeah, it's kind of just like a side plan that helps you beat a lot of those matchups.
Yeah, that probably is what gave you the upper hand than someone who was just playing a straight necromancy build where their main strategy is getting necromancy into the grave as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I think it played really well. What would you say like the hardest matchup for it was for you?
The hardest matchup for it. So the Alice's little matchup I didn't think was like super bad, but the problem was a lot of the players at the event that were playing the Alice's board were playing main deck with Robe of the Fire Rat,
right.
which is really painful for the deck. So it seems like Robe is the hardest. Like if you're playing Robe, that's what's really hard for the deck.
Right.
There were not a lot of matchups that felt like super hard. It's just like Robe that was really, really an issue.
Did you have a main deck out to Robe or no?
So it was kind of an oversight. I didn't expect people to main it.
Right.
Yeah, and so I didn't main deck any outs to Robe.
What was your side deck plan for it?
Implying I had a sideboard plan? No, it was mainly I sided in the other Nyarletotep, and I was trying to win through Nyarletoteps and maybe try to take the Robe from their hand. And yeah, it's pretty much it. But the plan to win with Nyarletoteps wasn't too bad because I actually did win a lot of my games where they resolved the Robe through Nyarletoteps and protecting the Nyarletoteps.
Right. Yeah, you just kind of have to switch your strategy a little bit from being so red heavy to focusing more on. That card.
Yeah.
Did you run any other colors cards that could get in, or was it mostly just Nyarletotep?
Hera could get in, and Rasputin could get in, which is kind of laughable, but if you have like 2 necromancies on it, it's like a threat that never goes away.
If you have 2 necromancies on it.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like if you're gonna have like if you have like a Rasputin with 2 necromancies and like a Nyarletotep in play, that's not an insignificant clock.
No, that's not. Yeah, it's funny because you wouldn't think like my big threat hitting the board is my, what is it, a 2? It's a 2/2?
Yeah. It's a 1/1 actually.
Oh, geez, even worse. Gosh, I'm giving you more credit. Yep, my 1/1 is going to get in. It's going to get in for 5. What was the most, you said you ran 3. Did you ever get 3 necromancies attached to the 1/1?
No, I only got 2.
All right, well, you almost got there.
Almost.
Maybe
so close. But you can pump it with Reflect to get even more damage.
Oh, there you go. So now
There's also the little red.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Okay, so this is like the most loose strategy I've ever.
Yeah. And Hera could go there. But yeah, mostly it was an oversight. It's just it just so happens my deck can kind of deal with it.
Yeah, you can just play around it. I mean, you're a good player, so that always helps, when you have that in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can't rely on my deck in this situation. I'm just going to have to play a little bit better. Where's my 1/1? Get that in my hand immediately. That's good. What do you think about after the errata? Is it still like, I don't want to say is it still playable? Obviously, you still play the deck, but do you think it significantly gets hurt, or what do you think?
I don't know if it gets significantly hurt, but it does get hurt. I still need to test it a little bit to see how good it is. But I'm thinking of trying it with like maybe some other rulers, like maybe Blazer, maybe even like Bahamut or Dark Alice or something.
Yeah, that doesn't seem bad. I think other rulers are going to come out. I mean, what do you think when it comes like now that the meta is changing, right? Let's kind of switch topics here. Now that the meta is changing, we're having obviously a huge blow to Reflect is the errata. Is that enough to kind of take it out of the limelight, or do you think it's still going to be the ruler to beat?
It's still probably the ruler to beat. It's looking like now a lot of people are jumping back on the Bloody Arla train. And that's probably one of the best decks still. But I think Reflect is still up there with it, and maybe even a little bit better. I'm not certain though.
Yeah, it's possible. I know Zach was on Bloody Arla, Zach Tufford, for a 1K that he went to. And he did pretty well.
Yeah, I heard he won it or something. Or split for first.
Yeah, I guess more than pretty well. He won the whole thing, but like
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't it wasn't like a landslide. It wasn't like clearly the best deck. So, I mean, there's still like a lot of play involved, which I think is something that's good because the last meta I feel was just, and give me your opinion on this. I just felt it was like awful for me.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. Everything going to time, like people could say it's all because the players like need to learn how to play the decks, but that's not true. Like
No, not at all.
games are just always going to go to time. Like the matchups are just so grindy. Takes way too long, and of course everyone has to play the best ruler. But,
right.
At least it made it really like skill intensive, which is nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think because going into the event, like my concern for Pasadena, just beyond the game, was I hope that this isn't the event because it was pre-errata that people forget to give the credit to the players who did well in this event, because it truly was like, regardless of what anyone says, this dumb play reflect and win, auto win, stupid, like no, it's not. It's the better player will win, and if there are two players that are at the same skill level, whoever won the die roll won. is basically how that would work. But you're dead on. Like it was super skill intensive, and I think it lasted a little longer than it should have. But I mean, this was the only AGP, like actually force of will, like sanctioned event with this particular text on the card, right? There was no other ones. So I think I don't know. I think one event was enough. I'm glad they changed it. Do you think this is are we gonna see other rulers? Do you think Blazer's gonna come back? Dark Alice? What do you think there?
Yeah, I could see them seeing more play. Like they were kind of like fringe play, I guess.
Right.
But I think they will see a little bit more play now. Reflect's still really strong, but at least other rulers are a little better now.
Yeah, I think so too. I think also discard effects got a little bit better. I think Scorn is a little bit of a better card now than it was prior. I mean, just being able to draw, like with an orb, you draw for free essentially, right?
Yeah.
One counter on my turn, one counter on your turn, draw a card, and that's you're going even on counters. Now, I mean, you're getting to turn 5, and if they didn't see an orb very early, they have like 6 to 8 counters on reflect by turn 5.
Yeah.
You got to think before you get rid of 2 of those bad boys to draw a card. You know, it puts you really far behind.
Yeah, I also feel like Barrier of Shadows and Hera might even be even more important now.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I have to agree. I think Hera was already a good card.
Yeah. And
I mean, that's why people splash blue. They splashed blue for Hera, and they're like, oh yeah, Cheshire Cat's good as well. So like while I'm at it, let me throw in Cheshire.
Was insane.
Oh yeah. What do you think about Gherta? Do you think it gets significantly worse?
I don't think it's unplayable, but I think it is a decent amount worse. Like if you play Orb, I think you can still play it. Yeah, I think that's granted. You have to play Orb.
Yeah, if you're not playing Orb, you're gonna have a tough time. I think. I just think in general, I think even like these aggro, and now I could be wrong, and you might be the one to prove me wrong, but I think it's really tough now, even with really aggressive strategies, not running Orb, because you're just gonna have no counters, and a lot of times look, if you're running an aggressive deck and you only have one Susanowo, then after you use that one Susanowo and get rid of a Guiber, there's still 3 more Guibers that are coming out, and they're using more Gianna just to pick them out of their deck. So what is your Guiber plan after that? You're flipping to Reflame, you need to bounce that guy, right? You can't get him off the board immediately. So I think that it's these orbless strategies are going to have a tough time now.
Yeah, I agree.
Which, I don't know, maybe is good, maybe is bad. Discard cards, I think, get better. I think the cards are more fair, right?
Certainly.
I think it was pretty unfair before.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Really silly.
Oh yeah, the card was absurd. It was absolutely absurd. What event? So actually, I'm going too. I'm going to see you. There's an ARG over in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun, right?
Yeah, the state tournament. And yeah, I still need to do some testing for that. I haven't played at all since Pasadena.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah.
I haven't played. I've been playing too much Magic, Ryan. That's a big problem. Big problem. So yeah, I mean, I got to test a little bit for it too. Do you think? So is that? It's one of the only states I've heard of before Dallas, right? Which is a big deal.
So when is Dallas?
Dallas is the weekend after.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I think a lot of people are going to be looking at the states from between now and Dallas. One of which being in Bakersfield, California.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are going to be looking at it, trying to get an idea of what the post-errata meta looks like.
Yeah.
And do you think is that pressure? Do you feel any pressure, Ryan?
Oh, not really.
But Ryan, it's a big weight on your shoulder.
I feel more pressured to represent my store since that's where it's at.
Yeah, what store is that?
Paladin's Game Castle.
And is that the only shop in Bakersfield?
There's some other ones, but they're more fringe. It's like the main one in Bakersfield.
Oh, it is. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've only been to Bakersfield a few times. For those of you who've never been, it's a lovely place. You should never go. If you like cows, livestock, right? You guys are big livestock people.
Yeah.
They love livestock and animals.
And violence.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Also, so like one more thing here before we wrap up, that I think is worth talking about is, so you got third place. Are you going any other AGPs? Are you shooting for higher?
I would like to, but I don't really have the money to travel or anything.
Yeah, I think it gets pretty pricey at a certain point. Do you think, like, one of the things that someone brought up the other day, which is an interesting topic, is what do you think of the prize support for the AGPs this year or this season?
I think it's mostly fine. I'd say it's mostly fine. Maybe there could be top 8 after top 8 or something. But
yeah, I think it's mostly fine too. Because I was reading something and people were talking about it. What I think is pretty cool is you get a ton of stuff for entering.
Yeah,
a ton. I got a play mat and a promo card just for entering, and then when you get top 64, you get a whole nother promo card, which is cool looking.
Yep.
That Percival is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that thing has to be one of my favorite looking cards in the game right now.
Yeah, did you ever play Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day? Or recently? There's the ultimate rare, is that what it's called? Ulties. It kind of looks like that a little bit, which is neat.
Kind of.
But
the detailing on the Percival is way more insane though.
Oh yeah. It's out of control. I think it's a really cool card. So I think that was good. I think I've been getting a chance to go to Japan for free is cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be super fun.
Yeah, haven't really flown internationally before though, so I'm kind of nervous. But
yeah, I think you're in an American plane, so you should be okay.
Yeah.
It's when you go to these weird. I don't fly internationally too often, but I think because sometimes these people they're going to Galapagos and they're in these little 3-seater crazy airplanes that you see in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think you're going to be on one of those for 18 hours. But I think you'll be all right. And then it's cool too because it's gonna be a limited format, right? How it was at the last Worlds.
Oh, is that how it's gonna be?
Probably. I think so. I think they'll do it the same way, but maybe not. I don't know. You have a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal, dude. You're going to Japan for playing a card game. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I kind of couldn't believe it when I won my match for third place. I was like, wow, I'm actually going to Japan.
Yeah, dude, that's insane. I think that alone is a motivation for a lot of people to keep playing, and also going to other AGPs. You don't need to at this point, Yeah. It'd be cool just to play in one, I'm sure, but why not just hang out, enjoy life, and then when you figure out what the format is for Worlds and start like really paying attention.
Yeah.
Now, quick question for you before we go, which I feel like I said twice now. What about new cards coming out? You have a long history. We talked a little bit before this in TCGs, and you've played a ton of them. When a new set comes out, as far as like building a deck with those cards, what's your strategy going into it? Do you have one?
I essentially just look for the cards that I think are really strong. I both try to make decks with the new mechanics, and I also try them in the older decks, and I see how they work and how they interact with the meta and the current decks, to see what format I should be, or what angle I should be attacking the format in. Because sometimes some cards are really good, but they're just not good in the meta right now.
Right.
So I think that's a good way to determine even if the card's really good, is it good right now?
Yeah, I think that's really important. Yeah, I think it's big. I think a great example of this is Scorn. I think Scorn before the errata was just okay. I think now after the errata, it's actually a good card.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that could end up being a good example of people playing Scorn. What do you think of the tree? That's my favorite card, Ryan.
Oh, that card's super interesting. I could see it being either really good or really terrible. There was nowhere in between, it seemed like.
Hopefully it's good.
I hope it's really good. Yeah. It would be nice to have a real control deck.
Yeah. I was gonna call mine a root control. That's right. I think trees are cool. I feel like since you're a ruler, you're kind of being whatever the ruler is, essentially. Mm-hmm. So right now, everyone's a bunch of preteens. They're the whatever, the refrain. They're like little kids. I want to be a tree, man. I want to be a big, bold tree. So I'm excited for the tree. Everyone.
I also think. Sorry.
Go ahead. No. What do you think?
I also think the tree is something it's something you always have to be aware of, because it's such an interesting kind of card in the format, where if there's a meta that's not ready for it, it could just totally trash a tournament if they're not playing certain cards against it.
Well, you don't want to attack. If you attack and they have mana up, they're just gonna whispers, and then you're screwed. Yeah. Then you accidentally you tried to kill the tree, and the tree doesn't like that.
Yeah.
So
it always seems like something you have to respect in the format.
You gotta respect the tree and respect nature. Mother nature. Yeah, I think the trees. This was my exact thing that I say about the tree. The tree is dope. So because the tree is dope, I will be playing the tree. Whether Zach Tufford, Brian Liu, Quinn Kotecki, Anton Vigil, if any of those guys play the tree, I don't know. They might not like the tree that much. Some of them don't. I'll tell you that. Little inside Tavern tip. Some of them don't think the tree's that good. Myself, I think the tree's great. I'm a huge tree fan. That's it, Ryan. That's all I got. I just wanted to passionately talk about the tree. This is my outlet. This is what I do. Do you have any
excuse?
Yeah, yeah. That's why I brought you on here. That's what this 23 minutes was about. It was about getting to a point to where I can brag about the tree. And I've done that. Ryan, I have no more use for you at all. Anything else? Any last things you wanted to talk about before I hang up on you?
I guess just say come to the ARG States tournament in Bakersfield, California on February 20th if you're in the California area.
Fly out. What do you guys have, an airport there? Bakersfield port?
Yeah, we do. I don't know how terrible it is. It's not terrible. Fly there.
Yeah, it's lovely. Good. There's a lot of planes there. It's very similar to the plane that you would take to the Galapagos, but it gets you from A to B, which is good. Brian and I will be there, so if you want to talk to myself or Brian for some reason, that's the thing you want to do, come on down. Or you can talk to Ryan. He'll be there, probably beating me round 1, which will be a great experience for both of us.
I'll be able to drop.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Yeah, Ryan's gonna dream crush me at the tournament. It'll be very sad. We'll be talking about trees a lot. Anyway, it'll be a fun time. Come to the event. Ryan, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it, and everybody, keep growing. The tree.